Today we're headed into the mountains of East Tennessee right after a snowstorm to see if we can find old home sites that I found on an old topo map from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and see if we can find some old cemeteries while we're there. We are going up in the mountains to see if we can find some old house sites that I have never been to, and I found them on an old topo map from the early 1900s, late 1800s, and nobody lives up here anymore, and so I've been planning to come up here and see if I can find them. Unfortunately it snowed, so that adds to the fun, but we're gonna go see if we can figure out if we can find them and see what else we see while we're up here in the snow. We've got some more stuff in the road here, but somebody did come through from the other side of this mountain, so they've kind of cleared it for me a little bit. Made a little trail again. Looks like we're getting kind of close to my first marker here. On the topo, where they had a house site you could see on the old topo, and I've translated it over to the newer one, to my new topo. We'll see if we can see it. All right, it looks like we have made it as close as we're gonna get. As you can see, it's kind of a mess out here. We're in the middle of nowhere on the mountain, so I'm gonna walk up there and see what we can find. All right, so I believe it's gonna be right up here. There's almost a little trail right here, very slightly. So what we're looking for is probably like a foundation, or, you know, usually there's some big trees around them. I don't really see any trees that are standing out to me. I'm thinking over there it looks pretty flat. Could be right here where I'm standing. It's gonna be hard to tell with all the snow. See, there's kind of like a trail right here, like a little logging trail. I don't want to go too far from the truck though, because I've left it running to keep it nice and toasty. And it looks like we are right on top of where it should be. It's probably going to be too grown up for us to find this one this time of year. I see a big rock right there. Oh, that could be an indicator. I'm betting it's right here. I'm betting it's right here. Here's a rock. They usually use rock foundations. It's kind of sticking out of the ground at an odd angle. There's a few more over here, but this is a nice little flat spot, and I'm betting that this is it. There's lots of rocks that are sitting here, and there's this sort of deep little pathway, so not much left of it. We probably can find one that's a little more prominent though here in a moment, and we'll keep looking, see what we see. This is one of the many caves on the mountain here. You can see there's some steam that's coming out. It's got a lot of airflow coming out. You can see kind of the leaves moving right in there. Very cool. Here's this one steaming. See it coming out. We may come back whenever there's no snow and see if we can maybe find a little bit more proof, you know, like those foundations and things. Maybe a metal detector. We'll have to see. But yeah, because it's really hard to tell with the snow, you know, where something might be. So it says we are at another spot where there's actually two houses and a cemetery, and I can see a big tree right there. So that's, like I said, that's usually a good indicator that there's a house site. So we're gonna walk over there and see if we can get through. We're on a more popular stretch of the road, so I'm trying to pull over far enough. You can see kind of how this is a nice flat spot compared to a lot of the other places, and there's also a field right there, so they probably had a field of their own. And this was probably their front yard back in the day with their big tree. This is another good sign. A lot of times you see, you know, flowers like that, some sort of greenery. That was sticking up through the snow. Become pretty briary through here though over the years. I've believe I can actually see the foundation of something up here. Yep. You can see there's a little wall right here. Right here. That is the old foundation of a house for sure, around the edge, more than likely. See, there's some animal prints here, probably some deer. Yeah, this is definitely it. Oh, look. I believe I see what was a water well. This is, I'm not sure what this would have been. It's a big hole now, but over here, okay, here is probably the chimney of that old house. What's left of it, you can see that's bricks and stuff glued together. And right over here is a well. Goes way down, I guess. Big old well. There's some trash in the middle there too. And this is definitely the chimney here. This is where somebody used to live a long time ago. This would have been walking out there, probably their front porch right here, towards the road and their tree. That tree definitely predates, you know, would have been here during the house, I'm sure. Definitely gonna wait to go to that other house down the hill until a nicer day, just because it's so snowy and slick. I don't know if you guys can really tell just how steep and high up we are up on this mountain. Very pretty. Right on the edge. So we are coming up on the cemetery that's on this mountain. We're gonna check that out. Visit these folks for a bit. As soon as I get around this corner here, we'll park it. All right, let's see what we got. We are certainly the only visitor that these folks will have today. Guaranteed. This it's pretty big for being all the way up here in the middle of the mountains. If I can get down this without falling here. Whoa. There's a fence wire right here I'm trying to watch out for too. Pretty cool. Don't see much on that one. This one's very faded. You can't make any of the dates out on it. Some of them are very crude, you know, just a rock that they stood up. I can make out a hand on this one, but I really can't make out anything. You can almost see it with the snow. There we go. He died, but I can't make out the date. Looks like maybe 1918. It really needs some work out here. As you can see, the trees have kind of fell. February 1844. That's what that says right there. Can't make out the name though. Looks like Lucinda. I can't make the last name out. Lucinda Scott, February 15th, 1844. Maybe that's the day that she was born. Here we go, 1904. July 16th, 1904 was the day that she passed. Can't make that one out really. It's pretty though. Here you can see there's a clearing that could have been, you know, their farm property. You really never know. It definitely could be where they would have done their farming. I just left that house site and somehow I drove past the cemetery, but I didn't even see it, and it is right on the side of the road. So I'm gonna drive back up here and see if I can find it. Could be the family, you know, or around this area for sure. See what we see. As we are right at it, and I do not see anything out there. It must be further out, but there is a fence right here, so I hate to cross it today, but I am not seeing it. It must be over there, sort of where it gets a little bit more clear looking, because I don't see any evidence of one right here. We may come back for that too on the next one. We're coming up on another house site here, but with how steep this is, I really think it might have been right here on the road is where the house was. You know, it may have been something tiny, but, and you know, this wouldn't have been a nice road back then, so it may not have been very traveled, but I'm thinking it might have been literally right here on the side of the road, because up there, there's no flat spots that I can see at all. So that's interesting. And this side's just a big, you know, drop off. So that's really the only spot it could be, unless it was maybe like right in there, you know. But it's got to be a flat spot that they would have put it mostly flat. And there's just nothing up there. This is another old cemetery. It's a little bit more kind of mixed modern and old together. Still a lot of, you know, pretty crude looking stones. This one's actually, let's see, this one only has a death date. It looks like it says June 20th of, I can't tell, I think it's 1855. That makes more sense, but it says it could be 1955, but I think it's in 1855. As you can tell, it was handwritten for I think it's Melvin Godsey. We've got a lot of them here though, a lot of really old ones from the families that lived up here. As you can see though, some people still put flowers out for these people. This one is 1889. It says it was Mother. These are neat. Yeah, these are all handwritten. I see a lot of names on this one, but I don't really see the date. Okay, this one says Key Reed, September of 1917. 1917 on this one. This one's 1919, Patsy Reed. In January, has flowers. As you can see, there is a lot of just rocks out here. Didn't have a lot of money back then, especially out in these areas. But they did what they needed to. Let's see what this one says. Joss Reed, looks like. 1907. It'd be a hard place to live out here, but it would be beautiful. That's what I would say. Pretty nice little stream right here. I'm sure people would have got their water, you know, if they didn't have a well. It's flowing really good today with all the snow. If you guys liked the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and we'll be ready for the next one.